2019 Cadillac XTS, and in fact that's the second time I'm driving it. First time it was in Tennessee, and I had the chance to drive it throughout the Tail of Dragon, which gave me a very good understanding of how the car handles and feels and turns. And as it was then, I really enjoyed this car. It's heavy, and you can feel that, but at the same time, its rear independent suspension helps a lot. The engine feels very good. It's a direct injected 3.6 liter V6. It handles pretty good for its size and weight. For many years, the box design so recognized in all Cadillacs got considerably smoother, still retaining its sharp lines and conservative profile. For the same reason, I like the XTS tail lights that create a very attractive rear-looking channel. The front end looks a little more conventional and conservative, as it lacks the extreme and sharp lines of other Cadillac sedans. It is still a recognizable image that the car creates on the road. As I mentioned earlier, under the hood is a 3.6 liter V6 with about 300 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. It delivers a very good feedback and a smooth progressive acceleration. It is a pleasant feeling to know that your engine is not held by anything other than its displacement. The engine is applied in GM products like Chevy Traverse, Impala, GMC Acadia, and others. As for braking, XTS has regular disc brakes in the rear and Brembo in the front, which make the car stop smooth and progressive. A 6-speed automatic transmission feels pretty jerky under stress, and it is far from being fast. It is a GM transmission used in Buick Regal, Chevy, Equinox, and other GM products. Besides its regular gear setup, there's a manual mode which surprisingly gives you the option to rev up the engine pretty high without upshift, which is very rewarding on a curvy road. With all that, I wish there was a ZF transmission used, because it's quick, efficient, and it's used today by many automakers, making it a gold standard for automatic transmissions. So as I mentioned earlier, I was very fortunate to have the car not far away from Smoky Mountains, which means that I drove the car on the famous turns of the Tail of the Dragon. And I have to say that it carried its over 4,000 pounds pretty well. For comparison, I felt less secure driving a Charger RT than I felt in the XTS. It actually turns thanks to the brake vectoring. On highway, the Cadillac felt pretty comfortable, quiet and composed. The steering wheel is pretty light and it doesn't change its feedback once switched to manual mode. With all that said, there's a good amount of vibration that makes you feel somewhat connected to the road. Funny enough, I often felt like I wanted to push the car harder. I wanted to break its traction. That is something you're not gonna feel in a Chevy Malibu, which might be the most boring car I ever drove. You'll find yourself pretty comfortable in this Cadillac. There's a lot of space inside. I'm 6'2", and I had no issues. The trunk is huge. You can go camping with this car and sleep on the back seat without problems. The cabin is very quiet. Its leather interior combined with wood panels on the dash and doors give you a calm and expansive feel. All the touch points are made pretty well. There are no squeaks and the used plastic is not as noticeable as you might think, being used in areas that are exposed to harsh use mostly. The seats are heated and cooled with good amount of support. Compared to the XTS, the Chrysler 300 non-sport version has flat bench seats without any support whatsoever. The center of the dash, which hosts the infotainment system, is made out of glossy plastic, which of course will show all your fingerprints and it looks less premium. Speaking about the infotainment system, well, at least on the paper, it has everything a modern car it's asked to have. In reality, I was using its factory navigation most of the time. It crashed a few times, but it still wasn't as disturbing as the continuous failure to connect my phone using Bluetooth. The Android Auto connection was disrupted many times as well. I ended up just listening to the radio without trying to reconnect. Also, with the luxury trim, you're not getting the adaptive cruise control, which is surprising. You'll have to pay $8,000 more to get it.
plus a few more options. To summarize my thoughts, I would say that this is a great cruiser for long rides, being very comfortable and having decent balance in performance and handling. What is lacking is personality. It feels expensive but not really luxurious. It is more comparable with a Nissan Maxima or maybe a Lexus ES. Price-wise, it is closer to BMW 5 Series, which seems to be more advanced and attractive. It does not compare to full-size sedans from Mercedes or Audi or BMW. Same with performance. If I would necessarily want to buy an XTS, I would buy a used model or would go with a CDS-V with V8 or a V Sport model, which features a turbo 6-cylinder for half the price of an XTS. Cadillac sedans are known for balanced ride and high-end versions with crazy power, but no one seems to care enough. Cadillac is in a very competitive price range, which makes it hard to gain a solid place in the sales war. Maybe they need to make a supercharged V8 SUV.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.